You son of a bitch.
Welcome back. It is the podcast resumes after a week off. I'm out of town, so I still am going to do an abbreviated one. I've got limited tech around me. My lighting guys aren't here. My video guys aren't here. Makeup guys, as you can see, aren't here. My interns aren't here. So I'm kind of like going in naked, but I'm going to try and do it fast. I got a couple things, and I know really all you want is the power rankings. I can gather that from the conversations. All you want is the power rankings, and really, I'm not even sure that most of you care. But that guy who runs that team, who keeps changing his name, trying to sneak into the power rankings by coming up with a different name. What's his name now? I'm looking over here. I have to check. I got to keep up. Bally's Boo Birds. Bally's Boo Birds is really gunning for a power ranking spot. So I didn't want to shaft everybody and not do the podcast this week. We had some remarkably close games. I mean, really what it comes down to is I don't know that we're going to get a closer game than Bat Flippin' Boys and TNT. That game, Bat Flippin' Boys comes back after being down by a lot, and he wins the week by 1 point. And not only does he win the week by 1 point, I mean, he checked out on Wednesday. On Wednesday, he looked at the matchups for the rest of the week, and he decided to start pulling in players for the next week and sort of giving up, basically conceding to Team TNT that week. And like Team TNT says, you know, they pull a loss out of the jaws of victory week after week. So it came down literally to the last pitch of the week, late Sunday night, blow and save, and then Bat Flippin' Boys reliever Evan Phillips comes in from the Dodgers, closes out the game, gets the save points, gets some strikeouts, I think he got 11 points and winds up winning by 1. Disheartening for Team TNT, but nobody's going to feel sorry for him. Other close games, I think we had Hit Pitches, Get Bitches came back and topped Red Wine Redbirds, and then also Fear Boners had just a major Sunday to overtake Matt's Marauders. And last we saw, Matt's Marauders were pretty upset, pretty angry about all of that. I don't know that the other games were all that close. This week we had one team, I'll let you guess who that was in the 500 club, getting lonely up there. 400 club had 9 teams. That's a lot. 9 teams in the 400 club. We only had 5 in the 300 club. But this past week, it looked like the 300 club was the cool place to be. And then we had one team in the 200 club, and I'm not even sure if we call it a club. It's more like Mama's basement. So we had one team sitting in Mama's basement, the 200 teams. Going through the standings, you guys can look at this yourselves. We got 2 5-0 teams. I mean, really, do we have 2 or do we just really have 1? I have no idea what kind of black magic hashtag Lola's Bearded Dragons is pulling in there. I think he sold his soul to the devil or something like that, because he's 5-0. Unbelievable. He's like the inverse of Red Wine Redbirds. Like he just keeps winning. It doesn't matter. I'm not going to get into it. 2 5-0 teams. We got 1 4-1 team. The divisions are kind of wacky because one of the divisions is just all cluttered up with 2 and 3 teams, with the 4-1 team sitting on top. We got 3 and 2 teams. We got 7 2 and 3 teams, and we got 3 1 and 4 teams. So we're starting to see a little separation. The good news is, as my mama would say, nobody's going undefeated this season. We have no 0 and 5 teams. So everybody this year will at least have 1 victory. So, good for you. Good for you. Nobody's going undefeated. Okay, so what else are we going to go? I promise you we're doing power rankings. We are going to get through the power rankings. But I reached out to each of the team managers, and I got a little interview. I asked a little question here and there. I couldn't take the whole interview into this podcast. We just don't have time. But I'm going to run some of that for you. I'm going to take a break for our sponsor, and then I'll be right back. All right. Well, Team TNT, thank you for joining us on this interview. Really appreciate it. It's a hard week for you, so I appreciate that you're making the time and you're coming forward to take these questions. Just start things off. A rough loss. I mean, a really, really rough loss. I mean, it comes down to the wire. You think you have it, you think you don't. What do you have to say? I mean, what can you give us? Like, what was going through your head, or what happened? Like,
I got no words. I got no words. I got no words. I got no words. I'm wordless. I don't think we're gonna. I got no words.
okay, well, I guess I won't follow up on that. So the tough loss, it puts you at 1-4. You're sitting in the cellar. You haven't scored many points. You got a lot of injuries. This week you got Team J to the P, another 1-4 team. I mean, is this a must win? Is this like, if you dug your hole too deep, if you lose this week against another 1-4 team and put yourself in the cellar, I don't want to say you're out of it, but do you believe that you've dug a hole too deep to get out of if you lose to Team J to the P and go 1-5 after this week?
No. Well, yes.
All right, so moving on now, we're going to go to a little bit more of an uplifting interview here. Some questions with our Fear Boners manager. First one for you, Mr. Fear Boner, is big Sunday. You come back to win. How does that feel?
It was amazing, man.
Okay, and really, it comes down to Quantrill. I mean, he really carried the team and got you a huge number of points on that day. He hasn't produced well. My notes here say that this week he scored 31. I'm sorry, on Sunday he scored 31. That's more than twice what he scored in his last outing. If you go back 2 outings, he had negative points. Like, what did you say to him? What did you do to inspire him to turn around such on his performance? I mean, that's fantastic. I think everybody would like to know. Can you just fill us in a little bit on what you might have said to him to inspire him to this great outing?
Kenny, back in high school, I used to watch you walk through the halls, and I'd say, there goes the coolest, cockiest kid in the world. But you're no longer a kid anymore, Kenny. You're a man. And I guess all that coolness and cockiness has transformed. But it's transformed into something far more powerful. Battle-hardened, confident.
Inspiring. I mean, just Fear Boner's just fantastic. Just wonderful, wonderful stuff. Moving on to the clip, talking to hashtag, is that how you do it? I don't know. Hashtag Bearded Dragon. Lola's, okay, got to do it again. This is too, you're gonna edit this out, right? I don't know, the son of a bitch put a hashtag in front of his name. It's like, it's hard to remember, and it's always like, okay, just edit this shit out, and I'll pretend like it didn't happen, and I'll pretend like it's yeah, okay. Oh, and don't do this thing. It's just, okay, cool. Okay, okay, right. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Count me in. Okay, wow, Fear Boners, man, that was some heavy stuff. Lola's, hashtag Lola's Bearded Dragons. Like, you're 5-0. That's crazy. I don't know how you're doing it, but it's wonderful. I think, there's got to be a lot of contribution from a lot of people. Who do you say thank you to first? Like, who's pulling all this together? Who do you say thank you to first?
Thank me. I want to thank me for believing in me. Thank me for doing all this hard work. I want to thank me for having no days off. I want to thank me for never quitting. I want to thank me for always being a giver and trying to give more than I receive. I want to thank me for trying to do more right than wrong. I want to thank me for just being me at all times.
Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you, hashtag Lola's Bearded Dragons. Team J to the P, you're next. 1-4. Need a win. Playing another 1-4 team in Team TNT. Are you going to get a win this week?
Yeah, but I don't know that question or the answer to that right now. So I don't know the answer to that.
Okay. It was. You could have said anything, but you just made some shit up. Just say yes. I mean, okay, but whatever. That's your answer. You're a good, honest guy. Next, while that clip was running, I checked my email. I just got the power rankings. I've looked through them. Got the graphics for them. We'll get that out here after these last few interviews. And one of the questions that I did have the luxury to ask the Bally Boo Birds, you guys change names on me. I'm not good at this shit to start with, and then all of a sudden names are flying around. But I asked the Bally Boo Birds, I said, what would be your reaction if you were to actually show up on the power rankings? And this is what he said.
Woo! Yeah, baby! That's what I've been waiting for. That's what it's all about. Woo!
Well, you gotta love his excitement, right? You gotta love his excitement. Maybe after this one, maybe next week we can do a similar question about what would be your reaction of disappointment if you didn't get into the power rankings. We'll check that one out. Next was Breaking Brad, sitting on top of the world. I started to ask him questions. He quickly just put up his hand and he said, I will ask the questions here, and said he would be sending me a clip to throw in here in place of his interview, and I guess I'll just go with it. He's in first place. He's earned that right. Dominant team. And this is what he sent me.
Look at me, sure. Look at me, sure. I'm the captain now.
I'm just going to say it for the record. I am deathly afraid of the Breaking Brad roster. Can he go undefeated this season? It's a long season. Fluky things happen, but it's looking good. And I know there's another 5-0 team, and I know we're not giving that 5-0 team the respect they deserve, because 5-0 is 5-0. Even if Breaking Brad has scored like 700 points more than the other 5-0 team, and has had hundreds of points more scored against them than hashtag Lola's Bearded Dragons. And the record of the Breaking Brad schedule so far is 12-13, and hashtag Lola's Bearded Dragons opponents are a combined 10-15. But anyway, I digress. Just we need to make sure he doesn't go undefeated. Next, I got to catch up with the manager of the Red Wine Redbirds. Difficult guy to catch up to. Almost, not only is he just ridiculously busy, with what's going on in his life. He's got the baby. I guess Fear Boners has a baby as well, and there's also kids just running around all over the place with all the teams. But anyway, and the time difference, right? We got a time zone issue there with Red Wine Redbirds. But I got to catch up with him. He had another devastating loss this week. Sunday, the team he's playing puts up 11 points more than Red Wine, and winds up winning by like 8 or 9 points. So just one of those hard to take losses. I caught up to him. I asked him pretty much, it looks like his troubles all kind of came down this week to Dylan Cease. And I asked him, I'll just run the clip. Red Wine Redbirds, thank you for joining in. I know life is busy for you. I got a whole series of questions, but the first one I got to ask is devastating loss. I looked at your roster. I looked at what's been going on, and it looks like it's Dylan Cease. I'm looking here. He did nothing for you this past week. He scored 10 points for you, and he's your second highest paid player on your roster. Your draft. You basically backed up the truck for him. I think he was a keeper. 10 points this past week. Negative points in the outing before that, and as I'm recording this, I'm watching him play, and he's doing nothing for you here on Monday. But what do you have to say about Dylan Cease?
He sits on his ass all day, smoking dope and jerking off while he plays that fucking game. If that's our standard for goodness, no wonder this country's screwed.
Okay, well, manager of the Red Wine Redbirds somehow connects Dylan Cease's underperformance to the country's screwed. He convinced me. Anyway, so now I'm going to move into a quick clip of Bat Flippin' Boys and Matt's Marauders, and you'll see why. The question, and I'm just going to leave out the interview portion. I'll just tell you what happened. I asked, among the questions I asked Bat Flippin' Boys was, what did he think about this matchup against Matt's Marauders? The two of them are playing this week. They're both 3-2. The winner goes up and takes third place in the league behind the two 5-0 teams. And first, I'm going to show you Bat Flippin' Boys' answer to my question about what he thinks about the game against Matt's Marauders this week, and I'm going to go immediately into Matt's Marauders' response. Fortunately, my interns did beep out all of the foul language for me. Thank you for doing that, guys. I appreciate it. Some of these responses were over the top, and fortunately, we did get, it wasn't a live interview, holy cow, but we were able to edit out all of the language that wouldn't pass the censors. So anyway, I'm going to leave these two clips to you back and back, and then I'm just going to turn it straight over to the power rankings.
I think coming into tonight, man, easy win, all right? Easy win. And that's the energy I'm bringing, not even worth making a whole long video to drag it out and give my discussion, whatever. If you want.
Come here and tell me that if I fuck you in your ass, you punk white boy, you faggot. You can't touch me, you're not man enough. I eat your asshole alive, you bitch. Fuck you, you hoe. Come and say in my face, fuck you, ass for everybody. You bitch, come on, you.
Well, that was great. Thank you, everybody, for taking time out of your day to answer some questions and respond to me. That was wonderful. Time is running out here, so I'm going to get through these power rankings pretty quick. So first of all, we've got ALD 3 sour grapes in the tank there at the bottom. But yes, finally, Bally's Boo Birds shows up in the rankings. Yes, finally, I'm so happy for you. And on your birthday. Okay, that was something. Next, we have at number 4, Red Wine Redbirds is holding tight. They're holding in the top 5. After that, we've got the Brick City Mules. After that, we've got the Arizona Diablo Blancos, always a solid team. Underappreciated. I say that every week. And then finally, in the number 1 spot, it is no surprise to anybody, we've got Breaking Brad. But at this point, he is the captain, and for all I know, he controls the power rankings, and he put himself there. I don't know. It's a little surprising that we don't have hashtag Lola's Bearded Dragons in the hashtag power rankings, but got to elevate the game, I guess. Anyway, those are your power rankings. We're going to now dive into quickly the hitting power rankings versus the pitching power rankings. We're going to get a little bit more granular, or in Bearded Dragons speak, hashtag granular. So with this, we've got, let me get my notes 1 second. I gotta reach over here. I don't do this shit from memory. I'm too old for that crap. We'll do hitting first, and here's your power rankings for hitting. You see Mayor of Titty City down there at the bottom. I don't need to read this to you. You guys are all capable of reading, or at least pretending so. I think he'll show the pitching power rankings, and when you look at the two of them, overlay them, maybe that explains the overall power rankings. I really don't know how the power rankings get created. That's it. That's this week's podcast. I am happy for Bally's Boo Birds for being in the power rankings, but
it's about damn time. It's about damn time.
But I think there's some mistakes in there, not with Bally's Boo Birds, but I think there's some mistakes that need to get corrected. Hey man, like I said, I'm just the messenger. Anyway, good luck in week 6? Whatever. Good luck with the week, everybody. And that's a wrap.
90% of the time, I have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about.